Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that everything you thought was holding you back was actually a choice you made. Not a circumstance, not a person, not a lack of opportunity, but a mindset. The one mindset shift that changes everything isn't about working harder, being more disciplined, or even thinking positively. It's something far deeper, something that rewires how you see yourself and the world around you. And yet, most people never discover it. They keep spinning in the same cycle, chasing goals that feel just out of reach, stuck in patterns that drain their energy and joy. But what if I told you that this shift is not only possible, but also simple, and that missing it means missing out on the life you truly want? Before we dive in, ask yourself, how often do you feel trapped by your own thoughts? How often do you hesitate to say no, to set boundaries, or to choose what truly matters to you because you're afraid of what others will think? If you're honest, the answer might surprise you, because this mindset shift is about breaking free from the invisible chains of approval, fear, and attachment. It's about reclaiming your power to live on your own terms. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man named Ethan. Ethan was like many of us, hardworking, kind, and ambitious, but he was also exhausted. Every day felt like a balancing act between what he wanted and what others expected. He said yes to invitations he didn't want to accept, stayed late at work to please his boss, and hid his true feelings to avoid conflict. Deep down, Ethan knew this wasn't sustainable, but the fear of disappointing others kept him locked in place. He was living a life designed by everyone else's expectations, not his own. One evening, after a particularly draining day, Ethan stumbled upon a quote that stopped him cold. "You become what you believe about yourself." It was simple, but it hit him like a thunderbolt. He realized that the beliefs he held about his worth, his abilities, and his place in the world were the real barriers. Not his job, not his friends, not his circumstances. His mindset was the prison, and the key was in his hands all along. This is the essence of the mindset shift I'm talking about. It's the shift from living to please others to living to please yourself, from seeking external validation to cultivating internal confidence, from reacting to life's demands to choosing your own path. And it's not selfish, it's necessary, because when you stop bending to fit into molds that don't serve you, you create space for your true self to emerge. But here's the catch. This shift is uncomfortable. It challenges everything you've been taught about success, relationships, and happiness. It asks you to face your fears, fear of rejection, fear of loneliness, fear of failure. It asks you to say no when everyone expects a yes, to stand alone when everyone else follows the crowd. And that's why most people never make it. They choose comfort over growth, approval over authenticity. Ethan's journey wasn't easy. The first time he said no to a friend's invitation, he felt a pang of guilt. The first time he set a boundary at work, he worried about backlash. But each time he chose himself, he felt a little lighter, a little freer. He started to notice something remarkable. The people who truly mattered respected him more, not less. His energy returned, his focus sharpened, and slowly but surely, his life began to change. This mindset shift is about detachment, not in the cold, uncaring sense, but in the powerful sense of freedom. Freedom from the need to control how others see you, freedom from the chains of constant approval seeking, freedom from the exhausting cycle of people-pleasing. When you detach from these invisible weights, you become unstoppable. Think about it like this. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents an attachment to approval, to comfort, to fear of failure. The heavier the backpack, the slower and more tired you become. Now, imagine taking off that backpack. Suddenly, you can run faster, jump higher, and see farther. That's what this mindset shift does. It lightens your load so you can move forward with clarity and purpose. And here's the truth. This isn't just philosophy. It's backed by science. Studies show that people who cultivate internal validation and self-compassion experience less stress, greater resilience, and higher overall well-being. They're more creative, more productive, and more fulfilled. The mindset shift rewires her brain to focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your choices, rather than what you can't. So, how do you start? how do you make this shift real in your life? It begins with awareness. Start noticing when you say yes out of obligation rather than desire. Notice when your decisions are driven by fear of judgment rather than your own values. Then practice saying no. Practice setting boundaries. Practice choosing what feels right for you, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Every small step you take away from people-pleasing and toward authenticity is a victory, and over time, those victories add up to a life that feels truly yours. Ethan's journey didn't end with a sudden transformation. It was a process, sometimes messy, sometimes painful, but always real. He built a business that aligned with his passions, surrounded himself with people who supported his growth, and most importantly, he learned to love himself without conditions. And that's the power of the one mindset shift that changes everything. Now, I want to ask you, what's one area in your life where you're still living to please others? What's one decision you've been avoiding because you fear judgment or rejection? What would happen if you chose yourself first? Just once, because that one choice could be the start of everything changing for you. Don't miss out on this. Don't let fear or attachment keep you stuck. The life you want, the freedom, the joy, the peace is waiting on the other side of this mindset shift. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And you're not alone. Every step you take toward authenticity is a step toward a better you. If you're ready to start this journey, comment below with "I'm ready to change." Join a community of people who are choosing themselves and living with intention. Subscribe for more insights that will help you break free from the invisible chains holding you back. Because here's the truth: the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the mindset you choose to adopt today.